Good afternoon. We are breaking in because a tornado warning was issued a little while ago for Niagara County. This was a radar indicated tornado, so obviously no confirmation, but it was indicated around Niagara Falls around 12:40. And you can see right here, I just wanted to start with the relative velocity map because typically when we're trying to identify a tornado or a potential tornado using the radar, we want to see what those winds are doing. So the green typically indicates winds going toward the radar site, the red away. So we're looking at an area where you have those tight couplets is what we call them, when you have the green and the red next to each other. And you see right here, this box in red, that indicates the area within the tornado warning. And you see these really bright greens and these really bright reds. The brighter that green, the brighter that red, the more intense that wind direction or that wind is in general. So you do see right here a little bit now to the east of Niagara Falls. So this system is moving. It's been moving. As of right now, this tornado warning is set to remain in effect until 1:15 p.m. Now I'm going to show you the radar right now. You do see this area of at least heavy rainfall, some strong winds, and this tornado warning is within a greater severe thunderstorm warning that was also issued shortly before this tornado warning, and you can kind of see why. At the very least, we have some damaging gusty winds with that, up to 60 miles an hour, so there is the potential for damage to trees, to roofs, so just something absolutely to be aware of for everyone in Niagara and northern Erie County. This severe thunderstorm warning is set to remain in effect until 1:30. So it is possible, if this potential radar indicated tornado maintains its strength, that warning could be reissued as this system continues to move to the east. So I zoom in a little bit more on it. So because it is moving east at 30 miles an hour, I kind of wanted to show about when it would be arriving in various areas. So around 1:15, Wheatfield, 1:20, Wilson, 1:32, Newfane, 1:34, Lockport, 1:44, Heartland, and 1:50, Royalton. Again, this is just a general idea based on the fact that the radar has indicated that it's moving 30 miles an hour to the east. So it's not moving super fast. We had a couple tornado warnings a few weeks ago that were moving 55 miles an hour. This is moving considerably slower, and it does have some pretty heavy rainfall in it. You see those shades of the reds and oranges. That could be 1 to 2 inches of rain an hour, so it is dumping quite a bit of rain as well. I just want to highlight this. So when I was with you last night, the convective outlook was really just for Cattaraugus, Chautauqua, McKean, and Potter County, just for damaging gusty winds. This threat has been elevated for pretty much all of western New York, and this area in orange does include that 2% tornado chance, which obviously is something that we see. So I'm just going to go back, restart my graphics, and just show you what we're looking at here. Give me one moment just to pull that up, because sometimes the clicker doesn't work as well as just hitting the computer. So obviously we have this relative velocity map, the radar indicated tornado, but you see this couplet right here of those bright greens and that bright red. This looks pretty healthy based off of the relative velocity, at least, so I am not surprised that they issued that tornado warning. They issued it around 12:40. It is set to remain in effect until 1:15. I'm going to stay on air with you as long as this tornado warning or any subsequent tornado warnings remain in effect. So it has moved beyond Niagara Falls. Initially, when it was issued at 12:40, Niagara Falls was believed to be kind of the epicenter of where it was estimated around that time, but we're looking for those bright shades of green, those bright reds, because that indicates the idea that you have two converse wind directions. Obviously, a tornado is very characterized by those spinning, rotating winds, and that's what we have here. Typically, when you have a tornado, it's because there's a good amount of wind shear. Winds on the surface versus winds a little bit higher aloft are in different directions, and those winds aloft are stronger than those at the surface. You get that shear. That creates a sort of rotation, and when you have a severe thunderstorm, like we do here, you see this whole area in yellow. That is a severe thunderstorm. Typically, that's associated with a very strong updraft, kind of a pulling up into that cumulonimbus cloud. So that rotating air gets pulled up into that cloud, and that's how you get that tornadic rotation that seems to be pretty clearly indicated on the radar. Just zooming in a little bit more on this area right here, you see these heavy rainfall rates. That alone can be difficult, especially if it's moving relatively slowly. The tornado warning mentioned that this specific cell that we're watching is moving 30 miles an hour to the east again, it's an estimate, but just kind of showing that, I mean, I did this a few minutes ago, so it's not quite as accurate with where the system is right now, but just to give you that idea, around 113 Wheatfield, this could be coming to you. If you are in Niagara County at all, especially the eastern half of Niagara County, this is your warning right now to seek shelter immediately. What you want to do is you want to be on the lowest floor possible. A basement is obviously the most ideal, but just be on your bottom floor, and you want to put yourself as far away from any windows as possible. You want to be in the center of the room because strong winds are associated with tornadoes, but not just those tornadoes. Those severe thunderstorms as well. You can have those winds 60+ miles an hour gusting. That's strong enough to knock down trees, knock down power lines, push tiles off of roofs, create quite a bit of damage. So you want to be away from any windows because flying debris is a huge issue when it comes to tornadoes, because that wind can be so violent and it just kicks up anything that's not neatly and securely tied down. So you want to be away from those windows because that is obviously a dangerous place to be. So again, if you are anywhere in the eastern portion of Niagara County, you want to seek shelter immediately. If you know anyone who is in the eastern portion of Niagara County, any of these towns, Wheatfield, Wilson, Newfane, Lockport, Heartland, Royalton, just as a general example, you definitely want to head inside. If you are not, if you are inside, get to the lowest floor possible, because again, this is something that is headed toward your area. And just to reiterate, with that convective outlook yesterday, this was not in our entire area. It was really for Chautauqua, Cattaraugus, McKean, and Potter counties. That has since been expanded in the reissuance of the convective outlook. And it is not just for those damaging gusty winds. It is for that tornado potential as well. It's that 2%, but as we've seen a lot of times when we've been in that 2% so far this season, we have had at least one tornado warning. Again, it's very difficult for me to go back on my graphics. I'm just going to quickly pull that back. So again, let's talk about that relative vorticity map. This is really what we tend to look at when we're trying to see if there is a tornado on the radar or how healthy it is looking. We're looking for those greens and reds. We want to see them. We don't want to see them, but if we are looking for a tornado, it's the idea that they are tightly knit together. That indicates something that we call a couplet. Those greens indicate winds going toward the radar, say the red going away. So when you have that green and that red next to each other, that signals to us that there is likely some kind of rotation going on there. You see this area boxed out in red. That is the area within the tornado warning. Again, this was issued around 12:40. It is set to remain in effect until 1:15. We are coming up on 1:15. We'll see if this is reissued for an area farther east. We'll see if it's expired, but right now it's still looking pretty decent, at least with respect to that relative velocity. I mean, you see those greens and reds, specifically those greens, they're pretty bright, they're pretty close knit to one another. Okay, so it does look like with that relative vorticity, Patrick, thank you so much, is zooming out for me. We still do see that couplet, but that area in that box in red has been allowed to expire at 1:15. We will definitely keep an eye on this. So this is
we're going to keep an eye too on these storms that are extending down from that one, right?
Right, yeah. No.
Look like they're headed towards Buffalo.
Yeah, they do look like they are headed toward Buffalo. There is a bit of a northerly track to it, but it's a northeasterly movement, so we're definitely going to keep an eye on that. If any other tornado warnings are issued, I am going to be right here with you through the rest of the afternoon and the evening, but at least for right now, it looks like that tornado warning has been allowed to expire. This severe thunderstorm warning for all of Niagara County, that is still going to remain in effect until 1:30. And we are going to stay with you as this storm system continues to develop. But right now, we will send you back to your regularly scheduled programming.